I got to go to therapy yesterday, which was something that was definitely needed and spoke a lot about gender dysphoria being heightened and how it's gotten stronger lately. It's like I thought maybe it was backing off for a while, that maybe it was going to get to a point where it just be kind of mild. I've kind of come to the conclusion that it will always play in the background, but I've been thinking maybe I could get it to not be dominant. And if it's not too dominant, then it's easier to live with. But lately it's come back with a fury. And I've heard this before, that this happens with some people. You think it's dying down, and mine can be hard anyway because of the way it yo-yos at times. But yeah, it's been coming back lately with a fury, and uh, it's been painful. It's been difficult. So when I spoke to my therapist yesterday, which I've seen now, I've seen my new one about 3 or 4 times now. Her name is Winnie. She asked me a really good question. She said, well, what is really stopping you? Like, do you ever just sit and think what it would be like? Do you sit and embody the feelings of being a woman? Like, how you would feel every day if you were able to do that, if you were able to actually live out your life, the rest of your life as a female. And my first therapist, we kind of talked about that a bit. Like, what would I do as a female? Like, I would talk about sometimes how I'd cut my hair. Maybe I'd get sweep bangs, or maybe I would, different things I might would want to do. We would talk about it sometimes, but I think the question needed to be asked again, because I think I repress it, like repress those thoughts sometimes, thinking, no, 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 it's no way possible. Keep trying to integrate it, which I am still trying to do, but at the same time, actually have been liking when I think about the female experience, to be able to just live out my life like that. I've been having more thoughts lately, and I can't say it don't make me happy. I get happy feelings about it. And it's not about what I've come to realize that I didn't realize a year ago when I was going through real strong dysphoria. What I realize now that's different from then is it's not even about looking glamorous, or I got to wear all this makeup, or be a cliche female, or have to do certain things to be a part of a certain group, because that's inauthentic. It's not that. Now what I'm seeing is, okay, it would just be more about embodying myself more in my authenticity. It would just be taking the fact that, okay, you have to take HRT to achieve certain results, and get hair removal, facial hair removal at the least, with your neck and your face. And honestly think those two things would do a lot for me, and put me in the position of feeling, if I were to do it, I would probably feel pretty comfortable once effects started to happen. It would be like, it's about embodying more of a female appearance, just to fit in, just to people to perceive me that way. Not about, oh, this is gorgeous girl, or this beautiful woman. Not to say I don't want to be cute or uh, whatnot, but I'm just saying I don't have to be any specific way. Just like there's all kinds of men out there, there's all kinds of women out there of all shapes and sizes. It would be more about feeling comfortable, and more comfortable in my own skin. So she asked me that question. This is what now I've started thinking more about. It's like, how would I truly feel, and what would I want to do? And at the most basic level, it would be you would need HRT and you would need facial hair removal, um, and then go from there. And I think a lot of what represses it for me too is money. And I was thinking of the cliche things of like, oh, tons of makeup and clothes and all that. And I'm thinking you don't have to have all of that. I mean, I could wear the clothes I have now, which are bland to some level, male, but I would just look like a tomboy. If my body changed, like I think it would change fine, I would be a tomboy, but I would still look female. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. I might would look a bit alternative. I don't know, and then makeup irritates my skin. I've noticed that anyway. So I might would just, if I wore it light. These are just thoughts that go through my head. Like sometimes I would wear my chapstick with foundation because it looks like a lip gloss. Something like that. Lip gloss, lashes, maybe. Try them. I haven't tried actual lashes. Maybe just groom my brows a little bit. I would, as a female, I'd probably go to the nail salon. I would be one that would want to get a pedi. I've done that for myself at times. I grow my nails out sometimes longer. So I think about all of this stuff. So that question she asked yesterday, it did open that can of worms again in a way that I could say, okay, if you did this, what would it really be like in your circumstance and your money situation and the way you live? And it would just be more about how would you, well, for one, do I want to take HRT the rest of my life? That has been a consistent question. And the money of funding it, have to be able to fund that. There are programs I found apparently that can help with hair removal, to do the facial hair, things like that. But the HRT itself can be expensive. But that would be the biggest expense if you were to break everything down to its most basic level. It's a matter of, do you want to take that the rest of your life, the cost of that, but then everything else, it can kind of be worked around. There's time to think about what women go through, misogyny, safety issues, things like that. That also crosses my mind. And the thing is, for me, this is past life related. I'm firmly convinced of that through my own meditations and my own connection to source, and doing spiritual, or you can say metaphysical practices I do. I know it's past life related. That's why I've been trying to integrate it and try to work with it, because I feel like maybe my soul chose this life to do that, to have a different experience, but also work out trauma from that past life that I was as a woman, that I believe went through a lot of abuses, that were just not resolved, like SA and other things that were just not resolved. And maybe I was supposed to try to resolve those things by integrating in this life with it. Not to say I can't do that with a transition and still do the things I do. It would just be from a more female perspective. So I struggle with that too, knowing it's past life related. But it's so hard because when this gets stronger, gender dysphoria gets stronger, it's a constant battle in your mind. It's an internal struggle that, like depression or other things like bipolar or any of these types of things, you're constantly battling this background noise, like a record playing all of the time. And sometimes that record slows down and drags, or there could be like scratches, and you think it's going to stop and it don't. And then sometimes it speeds up, and it's you'll get up some days, you look in the mirror and you don't even see a man. Other people see, I'm quite aware, of course, other people perceive me as a male, but when you're looking at yourself and things I've done already just without any HRT to make myself appear more feminine, and it's just embodying more of who I truly am, it's hard for me to see much of a man, which doesn't bother me. That's the thing. It's like, oh wow, I can see pieces of that woman really wanting to come out, and that's the thing. It's like a fight of that female essence fighting to really want to come out fully and want to live. And I mean, I'll look in the mirror and see that. Sometimes I have a mirror at the head of my bed, and I'm not getting too detailed here, but I get on my bed and I'm posing and I see the female possibilities because I'm small and I've let my body soften to, I run and I stretch. I do jumping jacks, I'll do cardio, but I've done push-ups here and there, but lately with dysphoria, I haven't wanted to do those. So this is the struggle I go through. It's an up and down battle, and lately it's been stronger, and that's what I've been going through. And so that's mainly what I talked about in therapy yesterday, and also the struggle I have with workplaces too, the struggle with deceit with just about any employer you ever try to go to. That's a consistent battle. We talked about my wanting to do things like what I'm doing on here, wanting to one day maybe generate income from something like this or another creative field, or maybe more than one creative field. The point is doing what I'm passionate about. We talked about that a lot too, and she had a lot of empathy for everything I was saying, and she was also saying, she said, yeah, it's a struggle in this capitalistic type of system, the way things are set up. And I said, yeah, it burns you out after years of the way this system runs, and it's hard. And I said, do you deal with people throwing the typical tropes out there of this is the way it is and just do it, and this is what everybody does? And I said, they want to accuse you of laziness, and people want to accuse you of whatever to keep you in that. And I said, it's not like that at all. I said, I just want to do my thing. I said, I'm not even looking to be rich or wealthy. I said, of course, more money's fine. I said, but it's more about just wanting to do what I feel passionate about. And I'm not trying to compare to nobody. I'm not trying to beat out anybody. I'm not trying to have a better car, home, stuff than anybody. I think that's all a bunch of garbage, to be honest with you. Now, I used to participate in these sorts of behaviors in my past because of conditioning. But I was telling her, I said, I'm not wanting to do all that anymore. I said, I just want to make enough for my own life and do what I want to do and not have to go out there and be in these places with people that you don't want to work. You don't want to be in these places. It's doing it out of survival. It's just doing it because you're forced to do it. Who wants to do that? Doing stuff you're doing just because you're forced to do it. So as I was telling her, of course, I will try to do what I need to in the meantime, but that's where I'm at right now. So working on myself. I am in a better mental state than a year ago, even though, yeah, I'm not working at the moment. I'm looking for something to get by with again as I continue to be on here and work on myself mentally and do the things that I like doing, which is also spending a lot of time alone, honestly. Even if I was female, it'd be the same way. I'm not looking to be female to gain any specific thing except to feel comfortable and more aligned. It would still be the same as far as wanting to probably still have a lot of alone time and still wanting to do the same things I'm passionate about. I'm sure my feelings would shift some more. And there would be some things, of course, that would shift with estrogen, and things that would shift as far as how I felt lust wise. I'm sure things like that might be for the best. Sometimes I think it'd be for the best. Uh, but other than that, all the things I want to do in life, as far as my passions, would remain the same. I have a lot of feminine interest now. Well, some people would consider feminine interest in some things I like now, because it's just who I am inside. So anyway, I just take it a day at a time. And any of you out there, you watch this, you're dealing with gender dysphoria, you know as well as I do, it's very difficult. It really depends too on the degree of strength in you that it's beating you over the head with. And of course, anyone that has it really severe, and it's always severe, your best option probably is to transition, because it really can be, it can get to you to a point where it can drag you down. And if you have depression too, which depression often comes hand in hand with this sort of thing, and there's other things, a lot of us have other things coming against us in our lives too. You could have issues with the workplace, you could have issues with family disowning you. I feel really bad for people. I have a lot of empathy for people who their families just totally refuse to have anything to do with them because they may want to transition or they're gender dysphoric. So yeah, anyway, that's all I have for now, guys, and I'll talk to you later on. Bye.